Hello, welcome back to Chris's Beer Reviews. How are you? Hope you're doing really well. It's been a while since I've done a video. I think it's been about 11 days since I last did a video, maybe even 12 days by the time I put this out, maybe even 13 or 14, who knows when I'm going to put this video out. It's not unusual for me to go a week or two without doing a video, and it's a festive time of year, but I'm going to sound miserable straight off the bat. I just haven't been bothered. I just really haven't been asked to do a beer review, do a video. And some of that is because I had about 15 to 20 videos on my phone that I was going to release over the kind of festive period, and maybe even into January, because something's coming up. But I'll come on to that in a minute. And I deleted the lot. I don't know how I did it, but I managed it. I deleted the lot. And then realised that I'd also cancelled my cloud subscription that I had, so they weren't in there. But I have since got a new cloud storage, but it was too late. I just got everything with dates, things mixed up, so I've lost a good 15 to 20 videos, which is really annoying because there were some good beers, there were some bad beers, there were some good reviews that I enjoyed. I enjoyed doing most of them, as I do with most. So I then kind of thought, I just can't be bothered. I cannot be bothered to now turn the camera on and do another beer review. It did really pee me off. There was one video that was really ranty, proper ranty, to the point where I even swore a few times, which is unlike me to do that on a video, but it was such a rant. It was a £10 beer that I bought from Trembling Madness that was from America, and boy did that beer irritate me because it didn't live up to that price tag, etc. And yeah, it really did give me the hump. I did go on a proper rant, so gutted that that video has gone as well. But anyway, it's beer in a chat, but also beer in a chat or with a beer review. A lot of my beer in a chat videos don't always do a review. I think a couple of them I actually have, and it seems fitting. We're in December. It seems fitting to review the Fuller's Vintage Ale of 2025 and do a little beer in a chat. I've got some notes in my little book here that I've made, and talking of little books, Hopper's Beer Reviews. Check him out. I'm sure you do, because he's got a good sized channel now. He's released a book, and there it is, the Hopper's Little Book of Naughty Beer Wisdom. It's not the biggest of books, quite thin, but it is packed with good fun stuff about beer quotes, stuff about hops, etc. And it's available on Amazon. If I remember, I will stick the link in my comments, but I guarantee you I won't remember. But it is on Amazon. Just probably put in the Hopper Little Book of Naughty, but just put that in on Amazon. But it is a good little book, and it's easy to read as well. It's simple, it's easy to read, it's factual as well, and there's a lot of fun in it. And I think even Mr. Hopper will say himself, it's a great toilet book. Sitting there in the loo, having a little read of a book, it's good, it's simple, it's easy to read, but like I say, some fun, and I can't say that word, anecdotes is what I'm trying to say, and some useful facts as well. A nice little book from Mr. Hopper, available on Amazon. So yes, I've made notes in this book, I've read most of that book. Go and buy it, show Mr. Hopper some love. Anyway, let's get on with this one. Let's have a look at this Fuller's Vintage Ale 2025, and this is absolute room temperature. Picked up in Waitrose. It's going over the edge because it probably is a bit room temperature. Look at that. Let's get on with it. Picked up in Waitrose, £6. Now I'm going to be open and honest with you because that's the only way I do things. This is the third bottle I've had of this. It is bloody good. It really is good. I normally only ever buy two. I drink them both. I don't do the whole aging thing. I've tried that and I'm weak. I'm just so weak. I have to drink it. I can't do the aging it. But this is a third. I think it is a fantastic beer, and I'm going to be just as excited drinking this for the third time as I was the first time. The glass it's going in, I don't have that magnificent Fuller's glass, which is a similar shape to that but a little bit bigger. But I'm going to put it in one of my favourite glasses, my big Duvel glass. That's what it's going in. That'll really show off that lovely head, and I'm fairly sure I can get a whole 500ml bottle in this glass. It is a nucleated glass, but this will all go in. It's bottle conditioned, so I want the lot in there, and it is all in there. That's what I love about this Duvel glass, is it can hold a good quantity of the old beverage. And there it is in the glass, a beautiful ruby colour, a lovely foamy head. Look at that. wobbling away in there like a bit of jelly. Oh, looking good. Such a beautiful, beautiful looking beer. That ruby colour is fantastic. A little bit ruby, a little bit mahogany. Beautiful. Let's have a little sniffski. It's such a good beer. Oh, the aromas is good. They're not big, they're not bursting, but they're just good. And it sounds really strange to get this from an aroma, but you just know from the aroma that it's going to have quite a dryness when you taste it as well. Red berries, it's giving off of that. It's giving off a lot of red berries. A nice bit of dark fruits, but the kind of red berry hint I feel is quite strong on the aroma. And I've had a lot of issues with aroma this year with my nose, where I've really not been able to smell things that I think I should pick out more. But with this, I get it. You know, it works. Cakey, boozy, red currant, smells awesome. Let's taste it. Cheers. I think this beer has to be at room temperature. If your house is really hot, not good room temperature, but just a nice decent room temperature. The way it instantly lines your mouth. It's like sliding a sheath over something. Just completely coats it everywhere it needs to be. That's exactly what that does. Straight off the first mouthful. It is fantastic. It's festive. It's boozy. What's the ABV? 8.4, isn't it? 8.4%. We pick up on that booziness. A little tickle. But the way that mouthfeel coats your mouth is fantastic. I don't remember 2024 doing that. Really coating every part of your mouth. I'd have to go back and watch that review. It's easy to go crazy every year and say this is better than last year. But what I do is I think we forget. So what I should do is watch last year's review. But it certainly instantly feels like a better beer in the way that that's covering the palate. And the flavours that are just sitting there with it, just pinging away, working together beautifully. The balance to it is incredible. And I've said this a million times about Fuller's, and I'm going to say it again, is full respect to Asahi, who bought Fuller's a few years ago, and are letting Fuller's just carry on brewing good beer. Full respect to Asahi for doing that. So, thank you, Asahi, for not ruining beers that Fuller's produced. They're all fantastic beers. I've only had a couple that I'm not keen on. And this is an absolute belter of a beer. You get that typical base on these vintage ales of the sweetness of the sultanas, the raisins, a bit of cakiness, a bit of dark Christmas cake vibe to it. That's in there as the base. I think that's probably what they work with as their base, is achieving that result, and then they start changing things with other hops and malts, etc. Because what this is also delivering is that dryness that I mentioned on the aroma, which is a really bizarre thing to say. But it does have a dryness, but at the same time there's a beautiful sweetness that kind of sits in there with it. And then you kind of get that dryness, which makes you want to go back and drink a bit more. You get a lovely little bit of warmth in here, but you get that cakey vibe, the sultanas, the raisins, a dark Christmas cake, doughy almost type feel. You get that in abundance, as you do with all these vintage ales, but then it's what they do after it. And now what I'm picking up on is you do get that red currant vibe, a little zing of red currants, a little hint of type of a lemony citrus type vibe. Cherry is sitting in there as well, and then sitting along with that is like a little bit of licorice with brown sugar running through it. It almost feels like, and I don't want this to dull down how good this beer is, it's like a bit of licorice out of a box of licorice all sorts. It's not high-end licorice, but it's got a little licoricey vibe with this beautiful kind of sweetness running through the middle of it, which you kind of enjoy with the licorice all sorts. So like a brown sugar meets licorice is what, and it just mingles together and mingles away on your tongue. And that is beautiful. It's almost kind of a little bit balsamic-y, molasses type vibe, all kind of working in there together with that red currants, with the cherries, and that beautiful kind of raisin sweetness, dark Christmas cakey vibe, just disappearing off into the back of the palate, going dry, a little bit bitter. That is a really good beer. £6 for 500 millilitres of 8.4% goodness. That is an outstanding beer. Absolutely outstanding. There you go. I've said enough because I've got more to talk about and we're 10 minutes in. But that is an absolutely glorious, glorious beer to share with you guys. And I know other people have reviewed it already. I had a quick check before I came on to do this evening. I haven't watched them because I don't want that to influence the way I taste things, because it does happen. You really can. If someone tells you, if someone says to you, this beer's got lemon in it, most of the time you're going to pick out lemon even if it isn't there. It's like a placebo effect, and you can have that from watching other beer reviews. I've done it and I've watched them like, yeah, I can taste that, and then I have it a bit later when that kind of memory of the videos kind of disappeared a bit and I don't get it. So yeah, you can get a bit of the old placebo effect, which is why I haven't watched any. There's almost a bit of winter pine in that aroma now. A little winter spice. Oh, such a good beer. Such a good beer. Do I think it's better than 24? Yes, because I just can't remember 2024 vintage ale. This evening I'll have to go back and watch that. But anyway, let's move on. It's beer in the chat. And there's something in the thumbnail that I know you're going to want to know about. Something that I've put in the thumbnail. But before we get to that, let's talk about beer. Let's talk about the channel. Let's talk about the channel over this year. So I've not been actually that active on beer reviews. I counted how many beer reviews I've done this year, and it's not a big number, really. I've actually only reviewed 59 beers this year. 59. Now, some might think that is a big number, but it isn't really on the grand scheme of things. I have done more videos than 59. Some of those are unboxings, some of those are random product reviews, and some of them are cooking food reviews or cooking videos as well. So, pardon me, I have done more videos, but actual beer reviews I've only done 59, which I don't think is a big number. Total views that my channel has had this year is 112,553 views this year. That's nuts for, you know, a small channel. And interestingly, the numbers that watch my videos, it's actually a very small percent are actually subscribers, which is interesting. But yeah, 112,553 views this year. In its lifetime, since I started my channel, we've had 482,420 views. 482,420 views in the lifetime of the channel. So creeping up there, creeping up to that 500,000 views for the channel, which is amazing. I love that. I love that so many people have watched the channel, and I'm absolutely grateful to everybody that does watch. And I don't get many negative comments. I've had a few. I've had a couple this year, quite negative-ish comments. I don't care. Thanks for commenting. Thanks for watching. Watch it, leave a negative comment. Thank you. You still watch my video. And I try and reply to every single comment. I do my best to reply to every single comment. I don't always get that right, but I do always try. But yeah, 482,420 in the lifetime of the channel. That's pretty cool. I'm quite stoked by that number. So creeping up to the 500,000, I might have to do something special when the 500,000 view mark gets hit. So that's the channel. Doing okay. We're ticking along. We're ticking along, and that's great. No, thank you for that. Thank you for watching. What else is news? What else have I written down here? So the new Guinness Open Gate Brewery in Covent Garden has opened at a cost of £73 million. Huge figure. It is open. I was in London last weekend but missed the opening because I was there a few days before. It's certainly a place I'd like to go. I'm not going to be in a rush to go. I'd imagine YouTube is going to get flooded with videos of their new Guinness Open Gate Brewery. They are brewing Guinness there, of course they are, and they're brewing other beers there as well. They're doing Guinness tours. It's a huge building, an absolute huge building. They've got various different restaurants in there, various different floors, and obviously tours of the brewery itself. But yeah, a cost of £73 million. The Guinness brand is huge, isn't it? They're so good at marketing Guinness for something that isn't actually a particularly great beer. It's just Guinness. It's just a bog standard nitro Guinness, a nitro stout. There's so many better nitro stouts, but Guinness has been around for so long. Their marketing is incredible. Their adverts have been incredible over the years, and they just create such a brand loyalty. It is absolutely obscene how loyal people are to Guinness when there's far better beers than Guinness. I've ranted about Guinness before a number of times, and you know that, so I'm not going to carry on. But that's open now in Covent Garden, so if you enjoy Guinness, pop down there. But if you also enjoy Guinness, the Devonshire Arms near Soho also produces great Guinness as well. I dread to think how much a pint of Guinness is going to be in that new Open Gate Brewery. We'll have to check on that one. What else have I written down? Carlsberg are closing Banks Brewery. Of course they are. Irritates me that these big breweries come in, they buy all these smaller breweries and they shut them. We've seen it time and time again. What was probably the most recent, I suppose, was the Witchwood Brewery with the old Hobgoblins. That's gone. So yeah, Carlsberg are at it. They've closed Banks Brewery. What a shame. What a shame. A historic name, Banks Brewery. I'm sure they would keep the name on some of their beers, but the actual Banks Brewery, they're closing it. So yeah, well done, Carlsberg. Cheers for that. What else did I write down on here? Madry. This is an interesting fact. Madry has now passed 1 billion in annual sales, and it's marking its 5th anniversary this year, I believe. 1 billion. 1 billion in sales since its inception, which was only a few years ago. Oh, what shit beer. But people seem to enjoy it. People seem to enjoy the Madry, and fair play to you if you enjoy it. All is good. But yeah, 1 billion in annual sales since it was released. That's a huge number. 1 billion. That's massive. And what did I can't remember. There was a figure about Cruz Campo as well, or Cruz Crapo as I like to call it. I think that is at its highest it's ever been as well. These fake Spanish lagers, people seem to lap them up, but they're fake Spanish lagers. But there you go. There were other things that I was going to write down, I was going to note, and I didn't because I was feeling pissed off with losing all those videos and things. But there are other things out of my mind and I've written down. But they're just a few facts. We've spoken about this amazing beer. We've spoken about the channel, Open Gate Brewery opening in Covent Garden, Carlsberg and Madry. For someone that loves craft beer, and we're talking about macro beers. Strange, isn't it? Very strange. But anyway, let's move on to my beers of the year. And there's two. There's 2 beers of the year. Let's now make that 3. And I haven't drunk a huge amount of beer this year. And I haven't been on a big exploration this year of trying to find epic beers. You know, I haven't been big. Have I even reviewed a tipper this year? I'm not sure if I have. I might have done one, but I've not been on that journey again this year of looking for amazing tippers and dippers and etc. It's not been a good year for me in terms of exploring and looking for great new beers. So I haven't got a top 10. I haven't got a top 10 beers of the year, but I do have a top 3. This one's just dropped straight into that top 3. So you may or may not be surprised with my choices. So, and there's no particular order to this. It's very difficult for me to pick out number 1. I think I've got an idea. So anyway, yeah, that's going in there. That is an absolutely glorious, glorious beer. Fuller's Vintage Ale of 2025, £6. You know, that also makes that a good reason to be up there as one of the top beers of the year, because it's a 500ml bottle. It's £6, 8.4%, and it's absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I did a video where I ranted about a West Coast IPA from America. It was just over £10 a can, and it was not good. It was not good, and yet you can buy it, and that was a little bit bigger than a 440ml can, but you could buy that for £6, and it's outstanding. Gutted. I've lost that video. Gutted. I've probably got the can in that bag, but I'm not going to go rooting through it. Also, sitting up there in my top 3 is Fuller's 2025 Imperial Stout. I've finally broken this box down, because you can't keep hanging on to these things forever, can you? They've got to go. But yeah, there it is. Fuller's Imperial Stout. I did review it. Absolutely glorious beer. Really another fantastic bit of work from Fuller's. And then the other one that's in my top 3, funny enough, you might work this one out, it's also Fuller's, and is their 100, spit your words out, Chris, 180th anniversary porter. That probably is my beer of the year. The Imperial Stout was epic. That, I think, just would probably be my beer of the year. And again, these weren't silly money. That was glorious. Think of the packaging you get in a 500ml bottle, the experience, the taste, everything at a decent, reasonable price. Makes these, the 3 of these, it's all Fuller's. It's a Fuller's dominated beer of the year, really. Sort yourself out, Chris. For what you're getting, the price you're getting them for, in a beautiful box, and the flavour experience that you're getting, I just think is unrivaled for the money. Absolutely unrivaled. Did I ever think I would see Fuller's sitting there as 3 of my best beers of the year? And I like Fuller's. I'm a Fuller's fanboy, you know that. Didn't think I'd say they're my top 3 beers of the year, or Fuller's would be, but they absolutely are. But like I say, I haven't been big exploring in the beer world this year, but they're the benchmark. They are the benchmark for beers this year, for the price, the quality, the packaging, and they're owned by Asahi. And Asahi are not meddling with them. They're letting them carry on producing these beers. Exactly what the likes of Heineken should have been doing, Marsden should have been doing. They've bought so many breweries and bloody ruined them. That they need to take a leaf out of Asahi's book and carry on making good beers, but they've ruined them all. They've ruined them all. But Asahi, they're still keeping on with producing great beers, which is fantastic. So let's move on to what's in my thumbnail. The farewell. Yes, it's farewell time. It absolutely is farewell time. It's clickbait. Of course it's clickbait. I used to hate clickbait, but everyone does it. Farewell, yes, there is a farewell, but not farewell to Chris's beer reviews. Chris's beer reviews will continue. There may be gaps where I don't review for periods of time. That happens. That's normal for me. However, I am likely to be disappearing potentially for up to 3 months at the beginning of the year. So another reason why I've not really been putting out much content, as well as feeling disappointed that I deleted over 20 odd videos, is my health's not been great. And you know that. You know, if you follow my channel, I've also got another channel that used to be called Sydney Stoma. It's now called Chris Talks. It got a rebrand, and it's strange timing. Very strange timing. The rebrand and the reason why I might disappear. So I will disappear. That's a given. I will disappear for a couple of months, potentially, maybe even 3 months, because I'm having major surgery, and I'm hoping that is going to be in January. I've got my pre-op appointment at beginning of January, so then I'm hoping my surgery will follow not long after that. I'm having, yeah, it's fairly major surgery. My large intestine, your big old large intestine that runs all the way up here, across there and down there, that's being removed. The whole lot is going. My entire large intestine is being removed, leaving me with just my small bowel. And that's quite a big surgery indeed, and can have a big impact on your life. But it's got to go. I'm sick and tired of my large intestine. It's been the bane of my life for quite some time now. If you do follow my channel, you might know that I mentioned I have Crohn's disease and various other issues, slow bowel transit syndrome. I also have a colostomy. I'm not ashamed to admit that I have a colostomy. There's nothing wrong with that. It saved my life. It gave me my life back. Yeah, I poo in a bag. Don't care what people think about that, because it gave me a life. It gave me my life back. So that's going to change. So colostomy comes off your large intestine. I'm now going to have what they call an ileostomy, which comes off your small bowel. So I'll still poo in a bag, but it would just be coming directly off my small bowel rather than my large, because that's all going, that's coming out. So that's the farewell. It's farewell to my large bowel that has caused me so much grief for the last few years. It's ridiculous how much grief that large bowel has caused me. So farewell to the large bowel. Now here's the strange thing. So my stoma was called Sydney. When I had that done 9-10 years ago, I gave it a name to normalise it for me and to normalise it to my kids that were quite young. So it just helped normalise things. And my YouTube channel that I set up, all about life with a colostomy and Crohn's disease, was called Sydney Stoma. The channel was called Sydney Stoma. But that channel's kind of developed, and I've moved on a lot from thinking about my stoma being called Sydney. So I rebranded the channel. I called it Chris Talks, because I'm going to be talking about a lot more things. I've spoken about mental health on there. I've spoken about various other things. So I rebranded it because I wanted to move on. I wanted to get away from, not from having a stoma, not at all, but I wanted to venture into different things and talk about different things. And if you've got any type of condition, as a viewer, if you've got any type of condition, this is an open invite. You can come on Chris's Talks, on Chris Talks, and I'll do like an interview style video with you, and we'll whack it on Chris Talks. That's what I want to do. So that's why I rebranded it. And then now my large intestine's going, so Sydney Stoma is going. Sydney Stoma is going to be no more. So bizarre kind of timing that all kind of worked at similar time with the decisions made to remove my large intestine. So yes, I'm hoping that is got, what a way to end a video talking about my intestines. So I'm hoping that's going to happen kind of mid-January, which means it is a big operation. It's pretty major, and it's going to take some recovery to come around from that surgery. So I may well disappear. There's the farewell large intestines, farewell to Sydney Stoma, but new beginnings, new year, new beginnings, and hopefully a lot more beer reviews to come, food reviews, probably going to do more cooking as well, because I love cooking and I keep saying I'm going to do more, and I never really do, but that's going to come. Chris's random reviews are going to come. I'm going to review random shit as well, just because I can. But the beer reviews will always be there, and Chris's beer reviews will always be Chris's beer reviews. There you go. We are pushing on to the half an hour mark, and yeah, just a big thank you to everybody that's watched, everybody that's supported. Go and have a look. Go and order that book on YouTube. Become really good friends with Mr. Hopper. He's been a good support for me over the last few months as well. So big love to everybody that supported me. Everyone that puts things in the comments. There's so many subscribers that regularly comment, and I'd love to name you all, but I've forgotten to write you all down, so I don't want to pick out the few that I can definitely remember, because that'd be unfair on everybody else. That's another issue I have, is my brain. It just forgets a lot of things. But to everybody that subscribes, thank you. Oscar winning speech this is more like now, isn't it? Everybody that comments, thank you. Everybody that watches, whether you subscribe or you don't, but you still watch, thank you. I'm wishing you all a very safe and Merry Christmas. I'm working all over Christmas, 24, 25, 26, 27. I am working. But to everybody else, and if you know anybody that is suffering over the Christmas period, or they're on their own and you think they could be suffering, reach out to them. If you can spare them a couple of minutes, even on Christmas Day, give them a call, send them a text, let them know you're thinking about them. That will make a huge impact to people. Real high suicide rate over the festive period, especially men. So reach out, give someone a shout, say hello to them over the festive period, let them know that you're thinking about them. I'll be thinking about them. And again, thank you everybody. End of speech, and I will see you all soon. Will I see you this side of Christmas? Really unlikely, with what I've got coming up, and then I'm working all over Christmas. I'll try and get something out in January before the surgery, but until then, you look after yourselves. Have a fantastic festive time. Much love to you all. See you all soon. Take care.